Welcome back to Movie Bites. Today I'm going to narrate the 2019 movie titled 4x4. In the first scene, we see a man named Ciro, who is walking around a neighborhood in Buenos Aires. Ciro is a criminal, and when he finds a car he likes, he breaks into the car. He steals the car stereo and a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses from the overhead compartment, but still is not satisfied. To convey his disrespect to the owner of the car, he squeezes out a fart in it. He then finally feels that his work is done and tries to leave. Lo and behold, the car door is locked. He tries the other 3 doors, but all of them are locked. Running out of choices, he goes to the back seat where he tries to get the trunk open. When it also does not open, he starts to panic and tries to break the car windows by kicking them. He fails in it too. He refuses to give up and dismantles one of the car's doors. He tries to open the door by squeezing his hand inside it, but injures himself and starts bleeding. As a last resort, he pulls out his gun and shoots at the front window, but the bullet ricochets and hits him in the leg. He starts bleeding profusely. He takes off his shirt and wraps it around the wound to stop the flow of blood. Until now he was avoiding being seen, but after shooting himself in the leg, he tries to get the attention of someone from outside to help him get out of the car, even if it means jail time for him. Soon, a woman appears outside the car and uses the car's window to fix her makeup. Ciro asks for help, but it seems that the woman cannot see him through the window. Ciro then tries to call his wife, but the phone battery dies. Eventually, he falls asleep. He wakes up the next morning feeling very thirsty. He is out of water. He licks the fog from the window to quench his thirst. After some time, he takes out the car stereo from his bag and puts it back to listen to the radio. He starts enjoying the song being played and forgets his troubles for a moment. The song gives him the determination, and he tries to open the door once more. Suddenly, the car's stereo starts ringing as a phone call comes in. When Ciro picks up the call, the person on the other side introduces himself as Dr. Enrique Ferrari. He welcomes Ciro to the car. He tells him that he is the owner of this SUV and has been robbed 28 times in his life. He tells Ciro that he will be the 29th person to try such a thing. Ciro is enraged and asks to be freed. Enrique asks him to shut up and listen. He tells Ciro that he calls his car 4x4, and that his car has an alarm system connected to his phone, using which Enrique can lock the doors at any time. He tells him that the car is bulletproof and has an active suspension system, meaning it cannot be moved from the inside. It is also soundproof, and all the windows are polarized. He also tells him that there is a bomb in the fuel tank, which has 200 liters of fuel in it. Enrique continues that he is 60 years old and has lost his wife. He had a normal middle-class childhood and the doors to their home were never locked. He tells Ciro that the world has gone to a sorry situation these days, and that he misses his childhood life. He asks Ciro what would he do if he caught his son stealing, but Ciro has had enough. He threatens to report Enrique to the police and orders Enrique to release him. He threatens to kill him and his family when he leaves from here, but before he could finish, Enrique hangs up. Enrique then turns on the air conditioner to the lowest temperature. Ciro tries to turn off the AC but is not successful. To ward off the cold, he takes off his shirt from his wound and wears it. To stop the leg from bleeding, he tears off his jeans and wraps it around the wound. After an hour or so, Enrique calls again and asks him the question, what would he do if he caught his son stealing? He tells Ciro that a correct answer will get him a bottle of water. Ciro answers the question, but Enrique is not satisfied. Ciro begs him to let him go and tells him that he has learned his lesson. Enrique doesn't pay any attention to it. Enrique tells him that he has always trained his family to be ready for a robbery. He then tells Ciro about an incident last December, when 2 men broke into his daughter's home. She did what he trained her to do. She didn't make eye contact and had money prepared to hand out. However, the robbers still put a gun to Enrique's grandson for 3 hours. Ciro is not interested in Enrique's stories and asks him what kind of doctor deprives his patients of water. Enrique applauds him for such a genius question and asks him to guess the kind of doctor he is. He then hangs up. A police car arrives and stops in front of the SUV, raising up Ciro's hopes. He tries his best to get the attention of the policeman, but the policeman only gives the SUV a ticket and leaves. Several hours later, Enrique asks Ciro for his full name and identification number in exchange for water. When Ciro provides him that, he guides him to water in the washer hose. The water is not clear, but Ciro does not care and drinks down the water. After drinking water, Ciro feels the hunger more badly and eats an insect, which is inside the SUV. When Ciro checks his wound, he sees that it is turning yellow, and he is running a fever. Enrique tells him that he is also dying of cancer and doctors have given him only 1 year to live. He then turns on the AC for Ciro so he could cool down. Later, Ciro is seen eating the pages of the car manual because of hunger. He is at such a low point that he pisses in a container and then drinks it to keep himself hydrated. Soon, he feels a little hope when a burglar tries to enter the SUV. However, he is spotted by the people and is beaten up and handed to police. As the night falls, hunger and dehydration make him delirious. He observes that the world is full of poor people, while the laws are made by rich people. Since such laws only benefit the rich, that's why he does not follow them, and that's why he became a thief like his father. The next day, when Enrique calls, he is in a good mood and guides Ciro to a chocolate bar for his hunger. After getting some energy, he repeatedly hits one of the doors and makes a tiny hole in it. He tries to call for help through that, but no one listens. Enrique later calls and tells him that he has contacted his family. Ciro becomes emotional and asks him not to harm his family. He then asks him why he is doing this to Ciro. Enrique tells him that he is a criminal, and he has killed a person before. Ciro denies this. However, Enrique tells him the details that he broke into the home of some people to rob them, but when they tried to fight back, Ciro shot them. Enrique also tells him that he badly beat up an old bus driver. Ciro refuses to take the blame and tells that it was the driver's mistake that he did not let him rob the passengers. He tells Enrique that he has already paid for his mistakes. Later, Ciro charges his phone and calls his wife. The call directly goes to voicemail. He confesses everything to his wife and apologizes. Sometime later, when Ciro is playing with the car's start button, the car turns on. Apparently, the car starts after the start button is pushed a certain number of times. When he tries to put the car in the gear gets stuck in reverse. He speeds the car in reverse and crashes into a pole. The airbags deploy and he doesn't get any further injuries. He then kicks out the rear window and escapes from there. He manages to drag himself to a nearby gas station restaurant and helps himself to a sandwich. When the restaurant's manager asks him to pay and leave, Ciro becomes angry and shoots the manager. This wakes him up, and he notices that it was all a dream, and he is still inside the car. When Enrique calls again, Ciro threatens to commit suicide. Enrique again does not pay any attention. Ciro puts the gun to his mouth and pulls the trigger, but the gun gets jammed. Enrique then asks him to look out the front window, finally revealing himself. Enrique then gets into the car. Ciro does not even have the energy to try to escape. Enrique tends to his wounds, and later, gets distracted when he receives a call. Ciro tries to shoot the deranged doctor unsuccessfully and jumps out of the car. He is finally out and fires a shot in the air to call for help. However, Enrique again gets to him and drags him back to the SUV. A policewoman spots the two and orders the doctor to drop the gun. After 2 hours, people, media, and police have surrounded the area, but Enrique refuses to let Ciro go, saying he is the victim of the thief. After everything else fails, the police call retired negotiator, Julio Amadio, who asks the doctor what he wants. Enrique then lists a range of problems he faces every day, and the government doesn't do anything about them. Enrique says, while walking to his office, he must go around 2,000 dog poops on the street, because the dog owners don't clean after their pets, when no one's looking. The public agrees with Enrique, and they cheer for him. Julio refuses to give up and continues to calm him down, and eventually, convinces him to let Ciro go. The police arrest Ciro, and Julio asks Enrique to surrender, but he gets in his car and places a timer on his car roof. Julio guesses that it's a bomb, and orders everyone to back up. The SUV explodes, killing Enrique, but not before making him a symbol for the modern-day injustice. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. It helps us a lot.